Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock podcast featuring Dr. London Smith. It's STEMI season, and I'm here to remind you not to spend your STEMI on something stupid. Invest it into something smart like a mutual fund or a wave runner. Introducing your host, Dr. London Smith.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock podcast, where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I'd like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We have received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as magnesium inhibition of presynaptic acetylcholine release and rats off to you. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer Cameron.
Oh, were you
Cameron?
Sorry. No, I'm just observing today. I'm not participating.
Yeah. Okay.
I mentioned it sort of last week, but right now for this month, I'm sort of practicing self-care right now. And I mean, I figured, you would honor that because me and my people, we practice self-care this time of year, and so it's kind of important. And so the production stuff, all of those things, the buttons you press and the knobs you turn, that doesn't really seem like it's benefiting me in any way.
Nope.
Or relieving any of my stress or anxiety. So unfortunately, it's not something that I can do.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Traditionally a producer, sort of sound engineer type wouldn't be super involved in the talking part of a podcast anyway. So maybe this is okay. This actually sounds more...
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're fine with me not doing anything. Yeah, that's awesome.
So, well, the anything part. So I feel like you should do...
Oh, sorry, yeah. Anything that's not benefiting me in my stress and anxiety. So, for example, I could practice self-care by using the company credit card to buy me a wave runner. Yes.
I
wouldn't do that again because I did that this morning, but I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to do that twice.
Because
then it would be repetitive and boring, and that's not benefiting me if it's boring.
Yeah. So I feel like, maybe, it's great for you to practice self-care, and, for your days off, I'd say, go for it. And, you've taken a lot more self-care days lately, I guess all the days except, last week whenever you mentioned it. You just took off those days instead of...
Okay, well, I mean, are you telling people celebrate Christmas on your day off? No, you give it to them as a religious holiday.
Well, yeah,
and my people, we practice self-care this time of year. I mean, this is the time it has to be done, Dr. London.
Yeah, right.
I thought you would recognize that. I didn't realize you were so backwards.
Yeah, well, it's just, people will take a day off for self-care, but you did take the last 6 days off for self-care.
Oh, yes. And just as the old legend said, 6 days off and then 6 days off more. That's what...
Okay.
One of the founding principles of self-care.
Yeah. Which is... Okay, so self-care it's a religion for you. It's not just, it's not a philosophy. It is...
I can't imagine I can answer that in any way that would benefit me, so I'm not going to.
Okay, well, I'll just try to manage. Sometimes we're short-staffed, whatever, that happens, so we'll work with it, okay? Because I do want you to be at your best. I want you to be healthy. So for now, I guess, so I'll try to manage these buttons and knobs. Okay.
Well, okay, now it's all messed up because now if I try to stay healthy, then I'm doing it apparently for your benefit because you're the one who wants me to be healthy. So then it's no longer for me, so it's no longer self-care. It's at service for another person. So now I have to work.
Okay, and do you maybe want me to pitch in a little bit? How can I help you? Because, yeah, once again, seeing you thrive is, that helps me. So.
Ugh, stop saying it. You're ruining it for me.
Okay. So that's our producer, Cameron. Also with us is Digital in the house.
me and my people, we practice self-care this time of year. I mean, this is the time it has to be done, Dr. London. Practice self-care. Practice self-care. Practice self-care. Practice self-care. I can practice self-care by using the company credit card to buy me a Wave Runner. Wave Runner. Buy me a Wave Runner. Wave Runner. Wave Runner. Practice self-care. Buy me a Wave Runner. Practice self-care. Buy me a Wave Runner. Wave Runner.
And later, Cameron tells us that we can actually expect a special guest today. Oh, and this, I'm sorry, Cameron did tell me today, it is a huge guest. This guest is, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it, but it's...
Let's just say, what would be above A-list?
I don't know, like, but this guy, yeah, he could... spit on the A-list, and the A-list would thank him for it. Mm-hmm. And, you know,
they would weep tears of joy.
Yeah. They would scrape up the spit and the mud, the little bit of mud that it makes, and they would package it, and they would, if they put that on eBay, it would sell for a large sum of money.
The A-listers would sacrifice their children in order to be in a Doritos commercial with this guy.
Wow. Yeah. And I don't want to say anymore, because we have to focus on medicine. So before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. I found this note carved into the inside portion of a heart that was carved into a tree at my local park. The note reads, quote, "A foreign fellow called me about my social security number, but he didn't know it, so I gave it to him." End quote. So first of all, thank you so much for reaching out to us here on the Jock Talk podcast. We do like to hear back from our listeners. So normally, sort of the classic idea of what you carve inside of a heart on a tree would be like, someone loves someone, like Jakey loves Bambi or whatever.
Or like fish. Maybe you're a big fish fan.
Yeah, like London loves fish, which I do eat fish.
The food or the 90s jam band.
Yeah, or I was going to say that the fishing, PH, fish.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm thinking of the email.
Oh, right, yeah, so if you're a big fan of, well, I mean, it sounds like calling people up and asking them for their social security number.
Yeah. Okay, I get, what, good point. So I guess this was a phishing note, just not an email. It's just on a tree. I guess to our listeners, I would be wary of such a thing. All right. Thank you for listening. Now for today's medical topic, colonic volvulus. Colonic volvulus occurs when a loop of the intestine wraps around its place of attachment within the abdominal cavity. It may result in obstruction and constipation, or with vascular compromise, with potential for necrosis and even perforation if left untreated. The most common site is the sigmoid colon. Risk factors include chronic illness, age, institutionalization, and central nervous system diseases. Cecal volvulus, which accounts for 25% of all cases, is a surgical emergency, and it's due to a congenital lack of fixation to the right colon and tends to occur in younger patients. Other risk factors include chronic constipation, laxative abuse, anti-motility drugs, and prior abdominal surgery. So, I mean, really, it's these tubes of your intestine. Part of it gets caught or loosened.
This is me?
Sorry, Cameron, this isn't you specifically.
This is my intestine? Well, everything you were describing was hitting. I mean, the laxative abuse, everything was really speaking to me.
Okay, so maybe, I mean, yeah, I shouldn't say it's not you because I don't know, but that brings us to the next part. Clinically, patients present with acute onset of colicky abdominal pain. So have you felt abdominal pain?
Well, yeah. I mean, after the bowl of kind of laxatives I ate as a cereal, yeah.
Okay, so
my stomach hurts so bad.
You may also have.
But this is all part of the self-care thing, Dr. London.
The laxative abuse.
Yes.
Okay, so
because I'm flushing out all of the toxins in my body.
Yeah, so patients who have colonic volvulus, they may also have obstipation, which is a severe form of constipation, and abdominal distension, along with anorexia, nausea, and vomiting. Have you been eating, Cameron?
Well, yeah. I mean, I told you I had a huge bowl of laxatives earlier today.
Okay, so like food, have you eaten? So I guess to describe food, like a hot dog. Have you had a hot dog?
Ooh, I mean, I definitely put a bunch of laxatives on a hot dog bun, and I put ketchup on it. Did
you eat the bun?
Yeah, and the ketchup.
Okay, so that's something. So okay, that's better than nothing.
You're wondering what my recipe is.
Yes.
Well, it sounds.
That's what this is all about. You're trying to. You can just ask directly. It's not a secret.
Well, I know. I think you just told me, right? It's.
Well, you take a hot dog bun, but then you toast it just a little bit, Dr. London. You stick it right in the toaster oven. You let it, like get a little crispy in there. And then you take a bunch of laxatives and you pour it just right into the hot dog bun. Then you take some ketchup, room temperature ketchup, Dr. London. Don't just get it out of the fridge. There's a reason places like McDonald's or whatever have the ketchup packets just sitting out. And then you're going to put that on there, and then you're just going to take a big old bite. And then that's your meal for the next 3 or 4 days.
Oh. Okay. So diagnosis of colonic volvulus is first with plain abdominal X-ray films. In a sigmoid volvulus, the omega loop sign, which it looks like a bent inner tube, that indicates a dilated sigmoid colon. In cecal volvulus, the coffee bean sign indicates a large air fluid level in the right lower quadrant. Sigmoidoscopy is the preferred diagnostic and therapeutic test for sigmoid volvulus, and that leads
to... Now,
if
you're a little bit more of a chef, one thing that I think maybe you'd be a little more interested in, Dr. London, because the hot dog might be a little too basic for you, is my laxative pot pie.
Okay. Is it just pie crust?
So you take a pie crust, but a traditional pie, you might be thinking, oh, are there blueberries in there? Are there apples in there? Or is this some sort of a meat pie? And sort of you take like peas and carrots, so that's in the mixture there, but then you fill it up with laxatives.
Is there a reason why you want the laxatives in the dish? Like why are you, do they taste good to you?
Well, no, it's for the self-care part. It's flushing out all the toxins.
Okay, you did say that. And you think that just taking a whole lot of laxatives will help?
I mean, certainly doing something. My stomach hurts like hell.
Okay, so anyway, as I was saying, sigmoidoscopy can lead to successful treatment by untwisting and, decompression in many cases. Barium enema is another method of diagnosis, and that can reveal the narrowing of the colon at the point where it's twisted with the classic bird's beak appearance. Treatment for sigmoid volvulus, as I said, involves sigmoidoscopy. The recurrence rate is high, so elective sigmoid colon resection is recommended. And in cecal volvulus, once again, emergent surgery is indicated because that's an emergency. Okay, and so Cameron, I think that regardless of whether you have any sort of colonic volvulus, you should probably not be taking so many laxatives. and replacing meals with laxatives.
You think that maybe I should be mixing in things like muscle relaxers and stuff, and because I've been thinking that exact same thing, just sort of the flavor of it.
Okay, so that part would be the flavor.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not huge on muscle relaxers. I think it's like a texture thing for me. But when it's mixed in with stuff, just as sort of like a light flavoring, I think it really can sort of make things pop.
Yeah, I just really can't relate on this because I see those all as specific medications that you would take, as needed for, say, whenever you need your muscles to relax, or in the case of laxatives, whenever you have constipation or, that kind of thing. Does that make sense to you?
You're saying I should double up?
No, I'm saying let's,
the muscle relaxers just double up on the laxatives.
Sure. It's in any case. Let's move on from there. All right. Well, it's so I can't really overstate how excited I am right now for this guest. He's, you've all heard of him, not just heard of him, but heard his music. Whenever you go to work out, whenever you go to the store, you're always hearing it playing. Cameron, how did you get this guest?
Well, I'm not gonna, tell all my secrets, Dr. London, but I catfished him.
Okay. Oh, well. All right. Well, in any case, I guess maybe apologies will be owed, but hello there. My name is drlondonsmith.com. This is our producer, Cameron. And you are, everyone's going to know the moment you speak, but you, Jason Ottier, obviously.
Oh, hey, how's it going? Is Shelly not coming? Shelly's not coming?
So
I was supposed to meet. Supposed to be on this Zoom date.
Yeah. Okay.
With Shelly.
So Shelly is on her way.
Okay. Cool.
So her dog was Lady Gaga's dog,
which has been returned.
Which was returned like a month ago.
Yeah.
Her flat tire car flat tire.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. So her dog was Lady Gaga's dog, and her tire was flat dog tire. Okay, I got it.
So she'll be here, but maybe like 10 minutes. Just give it like 10 minutes.
You know what, dude? You speaking of dogs right now? Like, you know what I love? I love getting a hot dog and just like wrapping it with a bunch of ketchup. I don't know about you guys, but that's like one of my favorite things to do. Like as
an activity.
I love eating hot dog with the ketchup is so red. It's one of my favorite things.
Whoa.
I'm freaking out.
Oh, so I take you guys recognize me. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'll just hang out with y'all. Wait till Shelly gets here.
Until Shelly gets here, you should totally hang out. We're recording a podcast right now.
Cool. Yeah, here's my NDA.
Okay, just go ahead and sign that. And so you can't tell anyone what I'm wearing or what Dr. London has on his face or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's prescription.
Yeah, I usually a lot of celebrities, they have NDAs whenever they just to kind of interact with other people. So here's my NDA, and of course on the other side of that NDA is a direct release form. So you're allowed to release anything that is said in this conversation. So feel free, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay,
great,
cool.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of a dealer's choice.
It's dealer's choice.
Okay.
It's a dealer's choice between you.
Whoa.
And your sister.
So can I, and I don't mean to interrupt this real quick, but so Cameron, who's this Shelly? I didn't know. Hey,
Jason, can me and Dr. London talk privately for a second? Do you just want to play games on my phone for a second?
You got Best Fiends? You got Best Fiends? I love Best Fiends.
Yeah, I have that. That's just, you're just going to go right here. It's just going to go to google.com and then you can just do whatever you want, okay? And just don't look at the history, okay?
I love Google. I love Google.
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah, just don't look at the search history.
Okay. How to catfish someone. Oh, that's weird. Why that's on there.
Dr. London, there is no Shelley. Shelley's more of a theory. She's more of an idea.
So Cameron, no, you're talking weird because earlier you actually you referred to as Shelley, and that's actually who Jason is waiting for. So you're not making sense.
Yeah, see, I'm Shelley is essentially what it is.
Is this a change? Should I?
Wait a second.
What are your pronouns?
Are you Dr. Von Doctorson, who was talking to Shelley as well? Is that why you're shocked about this? Dr. London, were you pretending to be another doctor in order to try to catfish Shelley, and then you've been catfished on your own?
Well, look, I mean, I guess short answer. Look, I have my private life and I have my public life, and in private, sometimes, I do some dating. And yes, I've been kind of flirty with and I can't go by my real name everywhere because I'm famous, and I'm sure Jason will know about this. It's just, whenever
who can't hear us right now because he's playing on my phone.
That's right.
We're talking privately.
That's right. And I was just referencing because he's close.
Yes, level 3,000. Yes.
On Google searches.
Yeah, how did he get to 3,000? Okay, I'll have to get tips from him in a second. But Dr. Leonard, the point is there's no Shelley. She doesn't exist. How can I stress this enough?
How to spell Shelley? That's a weird search history. Why is that on there?
Okay, so I guess,
let's just go back. Let's just go talk to our amazing guest that we have here.
Real quick, before we do that, have your pronouns changed? Because that's really, I just want to make sure if you are Shelley now.
No, nothing like that. No pronouns have changed. Nothing like that.
Okay. Then we're good.
There is no Shelley. Okay. She's an idea. She's a theory.
Well, tell that to... Anyway.
These images look a lot like Shelley.
Hey, just don't look at those. I was looking up... Those are just pictures of the internet. Just Google just picks that. Google just shows you things. It chooses what to show you these days.
Google's wild. Google is truly wild.
Yeah.
It's truly wild.
It's because they know everything about you. You don't even have to search anymore. So it's just...
I mean, to be fair, I know you guys probably know my history, and I have to say, currently, I am promoting my album that is Apology, because I was spreading out some bad conspiracy theories, all thanks to Google. So Google's a kind of a rabbit hole for me, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I almost slipped down it. Thanks. So here's your phone back. Well, I can't go down that hole no more.
I'm really glad you brought this up. I was kind of nervous to ask about it, even though it's kind of what is all over the news. Like, I'm on Dumois and all these different like gossip sites, people talking about it. You sort of went down an interesting route, right? In terms of both your beliefs and the music you were putting out.
Yeah, I was everybody knows I was all of last year in 2020 for the first 6 months I was on a meditation / yoga / ecstasy bench, and I came out of it and I was like, whoa, there's like a virus, right? And I was like, oh no. And so I did all my research like a good citizen did, and then that's when I came out with my album Not Sorry. And that was me telling the truth about all of the viruses, how, Steve Wozniak created the coronavirus, how, the microchips are in the I voted sticker and stuff like that, as well as micro guac was also in the I voted stickers and stuff. So
I don't want to interrupt you too much at the moment, but you're saying right now that you put out the truth of this, but your latest Apology, well, your album titled Apology, you have a lot of songs that say that was not true. So I'm just...
Yeah. So so after my 6 months, meditation, yoga, ecstasy binge, followed by an album, I went on another meditation, yoga, ecstasy binge up until about a few weeks ago, and then I came back with all these lawsuits from various places like Steve Wozniak and Apple, and the company that makes the little "I voted" stickers. They sued me directly because I said that no one actually voted. No one is wearing those "I voted" stickers, and so they were like, well, that's slander. And so I'm as part of my punishment, I'm singing. I have an album called "I'm Sorry," and I'm apologizing to all the things I said from last year and stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so much in there to talk about. For one thing, you did vote, right? Like, you had pictures of yourself with the "I voted" sticker. So
I mean, I voted, and I got the "I voted" sticker, but I know no one else wore it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like I'm sorry, I should say that. Like, hold on, I'll just sing about it real quick. So you go to the polls and you vote all you know, but you put on that sticker. Yes, it's a real sticker. It is not a microchip to track how you are sleeping at night. No, it's not a microchip. It is just a sticker.
Okay, so
that does. I mean, you were talking a lot last year about government trying to track people's sleep because the government is in bed with Big Mattress and Casper.
Yeah, Casper's. Yeah, not the friendly ghosts. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, more like the menacing ghoul is what you said.
Yeah, more like it. That was one of my songs. More like the menacing ghoul, of course, but and then I had that song called Microchips and Guac, and of course that was like one of the best songs of the summer. But I'm here
most popular
to say best and
or
best.
So here's one thing I'm having difficulty with here is you keep. Whenever you're just talking about it, you keep saying that the microchips and everything and, the government control, that all of that is true. But then whenever you sing, it's almost like you're just doing a performative thing to recognize the wrongdoing.
Are you saying that me performing these songs me performing these apology songs is somehow performative?
And
I don't really understand. I get this. You're like a dentist or a doctor.
I'm so sorry for Dr. London's attitude. Dr. London, you can't treat our guest this way. Our huge guest.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
You can't accuse him of being a performative while he's performing.
Just because I'm performing doesn't make me performative, and that's kind of like saying just because a ballerina is on their tiptoes means that like they want to be taller. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not exactly that's just what they do. You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I feel like I'm making a lot of sense right now.
Okay. Yes, that tracks and that makes sense, and I'm on board.
Thank you.
See, Dr. London, you got to keep him happy.
Speaking of bored, reminds me. I do have this other song called the board of the CDC.
Mm-hmm.
If I just every time somebody mentions it, I got to sing this song. So here we go.
Oh, it's the board of CDC. Doesn't make it easy to collect Mario coins. That's not what they're supposed to do. CDC does not count for collecting Mario coins. That it's just actually the Center of Disease Control.
Yeah, that was another one that confused me because there are some conspiracy theories that are very, widespread, prevalent. The CDC collecting Mario coins or the various types of coins that are fictional within Nintendo games. That's I hadn't heard of that anywhere besides your album.
And that, which again, you talk about a lot. You talk about, remember how greedy Wario is? Well, Wario is the head of the CDC. And you blame Google for kind of stumbling upon a lot of these conspiracies. But I agree with Dr. London. It kind of sounds like some of these you might have originated, right?
I mean, when one goes down the rabbit hole of the internet, you kind of blend your own personalities, especially with if you're watching YouTube and it piles on and you're watching all these live streams, and then all of a sudden you are a live stream, and then you're talking about various conspiracies like CDC collects Mario coins, Wario is Dr. Fauci is he kidnapped Princess Peach. Is Princess Peach a allegory for Melania Trump? Those are all things that you kind of just like found yourself saying and also hearing at the same time, And I do want to point out that
Dr. Fauci is a real person and didn't steal Melania Trump. She just doesn't like the public eye.
I have, of course, say that every time I do mention this. Otherwise,
and it's amazing what your lawyers got for you, because a lot of people just, I
have the best lawyers. Yeah. I got one of the some of the best lawyers in the biz.
Well, I guess that's my sort of question is, who is greatly encouraging you to do these apologies? Is it just your lawyers trying to cover yourself, or was this a court mandated thing? I guess I don't know where this is coming from.
This was a court mandate. Yeah, it was either sing a bunch of songs as opposed to and sing a bunch of songs and apologizing for all of the quote unquote lies I've told, or pay $1 trillion. And I was like, I mean, I make about, and I was like, well, I make about 3 trillion in album sales, so I'm so sorry. You can just have that. How about that? You could just have the money from the album sales. So, I ended up I'll probably make another trillion just based off of,
Well, yeah, I mean, because everyone
streams.
Obviously, anything you put out, everyone is jamming immediately.
I don't even
jamming. Yeah.
A lot of people. What's been odd is with cancel culture, people will stop buying from certain people, but with you, it's been I don't want to say the opposite effect, but the effect has been basically your album sales have only increased.
Yeah, it's the Morgan Wallen effect.
Well, it's what's amazing is like the more, sort of the more proponents who want you canceled, they're buying your album too, and very publicly, and it's very, I don't know, it's just much different from the other celebrities who've fallen into this.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's one thing. Actually, Morgan Wallen and I did have a shared track.
You've been collaborating with him recently.
Yeah, it was called Ratify Culture, which is of course an antonym for cancel. So I can sing my parts, but he's got his whole parts on his side. It was a nice duet or whatever, but it's just something like
ratify those thoughts and those words, ratify those lives, ratify your face in my hands. I want to know how you feel.
Wow,
that was a harmonic part. Yeah, he was obviously lower than me and stuff.
Yeah, so yeah, it's odd to me that the effect has just been just springing you forward so much, and also strange to me that your attorneys really seem to argue to try to get you to sing, like to try to get your deal to like, as opposed to the settlements, whatever, to always have to sing. And I guess that is good advertisement. Anytime anyone brings it up, you just start singing.
Of course, my dad, of course, is my lawyer and is also a ward of all of my financial well-beings and stuff like that. So I just kind of do whatever my dad says. He kind of controls everything about what I do and stuff. And so, he says, I trust him completely. He's he's my daddy, and I feel like he could, he knows what's good for me. So, and that is not a coded message.
Yeah, it's
just said
your father has a certain sort of guardianship over you.
Yeah, I mean it's a legal guardianship and a wardship and a financial holds all of my financial stuff, and I'm very happy. And sometimes I just look to the future, None of that was coded at all.
Is that
about what I just said?
Is that him on this video feed? It's been muted the whole time, because there has been someone else here joining us.
Oh, Shelly? Is it Shelly?
Is
Shelly here?
Is it Shelly?
No, I'm gonna guess that's your dad. I know you can see who we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, technically, I don't see him. That's also part of the agreement. I never acknowledge his presence, so just be cool. He's just kind of there.
Okay, cool.
He's obviously there to witness make sure I was I'm in safe hands and gonna go on this date with Shelly and stuff. Because I haven't
Okay.
Obviously, my 7 other wives are looking for alimony and stuff. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a lot like a sort of an old timey courting situation with having a chaperone, except.
And there's nothing wrong with being a little traditional, Dr. London.
Yeah. You have all of your wives, and then you court the next one in the same. Jason, I guess that's one question for you. Did you court all of your other wives the same way that you were planning to court Shelly?
Yeah, almost exactly the same way. I went on to farmermeetsbagel.com, and that's where I found most of my wives, except for the first one. That one I met at the Orange County Fair. Mm-hmm. But all of the other ones I went to Farmer Meets Bagel.
Is she the one? I'm sorry, your first wife. Is that the one who disappeared?
Is that the one that's disappeared?
Yeah,
Dad?
I know.
Dad, is that the one that disappeared? Was that Melissa? Oh, wait, I'm not even supposed to talk to him. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna get back to you on that.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure yes.
Because I know, and this isn't like a lot of your diehard fans say that you had your first love, and that your first love didn't approve of the way your father managed things. Okay, and on that video feed that's who I assume is your dad is shaking his head at us.
He's shaking his fist too. He's kind of going a why I oughta. And
it's cool that I have an iPad necklace, and he's just kind of hanging out on my chest right here, right? You guys are cool with him watching. Okay.
It's really, cool. I mean, it is genuinely cool. It's like that, kind of like the oversized watch thing, except it's an iPad.
Yeah, it's kind of like the modern, iPads are just big watches, Yeah.
That's
that's also okay. Actually, I'm not allowed to say that. Hold on, I gotta.
iPads are not just giant watches. They are not just filled with tiny cogs, and inside them you get the internet. They are computers.
Sorry, that was, of course, one of my other songs about how iPads were never actually technology, and we've all been tricked. They're just one big giant clock. So, sorry.
This kind of reminds me. I did want to ask about. There is sort of one interesting claim you've been making that you haven't backed down from. In fact, you've sort of doubled down on, and it's that.
Oh boy.
Your TV is not showing something that was recorded. Those are little people living inside there.
Yeah, I don't know why people are just maintaining this lie to themselves. Listen, people are big.
Yes.
And so if people in a TV, they can't be small, right? So they have to be shrunken people in there, and there's no other explanation,
I mean, it makes sense to me, and I also don't understand why people get so mad about that, because even if you were wrong about that, there's not really any harm in believing that.
I mean, the thing is, most of the time, I do fight people that disagree with me, so maybe that's like the harm of it, but I usually lose. And I end up giving them one of my iPad watches to tell them, of course, like, I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, like, there's no harm really of me just saying there's shrunken people in the internet. There's like Joe Rogan is a shrunken person whenever I watch him on YouTube. Alex Jones is a little person.
Yes.
There's no harm in saying that, like Ben Shapiro is tiny.
Yes.
Those are things that like are true, and it's just crazy that people like, you hear Ben Shapiro's voice. He sounds like already like a little elf, like from a Christmas movie. Don't even get me started about cartoons. Cartoons are just paper held up by little tiny people that move around in the screen. So like, of course, like it just makes sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, the Shapiro thing was definitely a tipping point for me, because it's like, okay, well, this person is clearly about 4'6", and if he was actually bigger than that in real life, then why would he be so obviously insecure and constantly projecting about it? So he must be very tiny.
And like 4'6", tell me, like, I don't know about you guys, but I do have a 20-foot TV. So most of the time when I'm looking at these people that are on TV, they're about like just a little bit smaller than like, just like you
they're like 4/5 scale.
They're like like, it's just like, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right, Like, I was watching this one sporting event where they were like jumping around on bars and flipping around and stuff like that, and like waving ribbons.
Jumping around on bars. Are you talking about just bar rescue?
Or the Olympics?
I was talking about bar rescue Olympics, of course.
Okay.
Where they were, of course, doing crazy stunts on motorcycles while also doing double hand backflips. And those people are so small. It's like, of course you're not big. Of course you're not real. You live in my TV, man. Get that motorcycle in there and you see my TV.
No,
you're in my TV. I wish I could meet you in real life.
I just wish they could. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it's very brave of you to stick by those convictions, despite what people might be saying.
And then people are always like, they're like, Jason, what about when you're on TV? And I was like, obviously, that's when they use mirrors to reflect me into everybody's homes. Obviously.
Yep.
Like they just shoot me up through the iPad satellite clock, and it's a mirror that I'm like just standing there. Like it's simple math. It's simple.
Yeah, I guess it's just not my field so much. So it's not really something I can contend. I can say yes or no on it.
Is this a? I thought this was This is an office, right? We're not in a field right now. Sometimes I have terrible spatial awareness.
No, sorry. So this is a podcast recording studio. Now it may not look like it at the moment because it is Cameron's another of Cameron's self-care days. So you
gotta have self-care days. Have you ever had a meditation yoga / ecstasy bends for 6 months? Is great.
Oh, I have to try that. I've heard such great things about that.
It's honestly, you're not even going to be the same person afterwards. And I have done it at least, I do about, there's 6 months long. So I do about 3 a year.
Yep. Some overlapping. The first and third ones sort of kind of overlap a little bit. And then the second one is right in between them.
Honestly, yeah, they all just kind of, they're different, but same at the same time,
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I hate to kind of interrupt this because we have such a good flow going, and it's so exciting to have you on the podcast. But
you said flow. I gotta just
okay.
Flo is just a woman. She's not a robot selling you insurance. Flo is just a woman. She's just a robot selling you insurance. She's also a woman that lives in your TV. Yeah, so sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your flow, but of course I have to say that.
No, you're fine, and it's good that you address the all the rumors you've kind of put out about the progressive commercials. But we have chores to do, and I hate to involve a celebrity like yourself in it, but we kind of don't make the rules on this. I mean, we made them, but like we don't currently make them. We already made them. So
sorry, before we go and do that, can I just request one more song from your latest apology album? Just if you could just sing real quick, Mr. Bean is not my president.
Oh man. That's no problem. Here you go.
Mr. Bean, you are not my president. Mr. Bean, you're not my president. Even though you're so funny and you fall down all the time and you don't ever say a word, you're just also funny. You are not my president. You never were running. You are not even American, but you are American in my heart, 'cause you're so fucking funny, yeah. You make me laugh all the times you're on a train, or in a bus, or on the streets. You got your hair cut and that mole. You're so dang funny with the music going on. I think you're so funny, you should be my president. Oh no, you're not my president, Mr. Bean.
Wow.
No problem.
yeah, that was one of the more surprising lawsuits that came about over that, because it didn't seem like you were really victimizing anyone in particular, I guess, aside from the sitting president. But
Well, I mean, it's crazy. Rowan Atkinson sued me. He directly. Usually these are organizations, but Rowan Atkinson literally sued me. And I was like, "You're my president." He's like, of course he didn't. He was doing his Mr. Bean impression, so never even said a word.
But still got the apology. Yeah. Well, I guess good to have the apology. But I hate to just hurry things along to the next thing, but we have to do these chores.
Okay.
So,
do you want me to go ahead and explain what that is, Dr. London?
Yeah, I know it would. I won't say how it would affect me or whatever. Yes, for your own self-care, please share.
All right. So this is in my self-interest that I explain to our listeners and our guests what the chore wheel is. Essentially, we have been neglecting all of our chores for a really long time now. We haven't been doing the dishes. We haven't been cleaning the toilets. We haven't been cleaning the fish tank. We haven't put the dog on a pedestal like we're supposed to. There's all these sorts of things that we have just been putting off on our to-do list. And so we made this fun little wheel, and every week we spin it, and whatever it lands on, that is the chore we have to do. Even, Dr. London, if it's washing your socks. I know you hate that chore.
I hate it, but
if it lands on it, we gotta wash your socks.
I'm normally so anti that, but after stepping in the wet concrete the other day, I'm starting to see how cleaning socks would be helpful.
Yeah, you're really hoping it lands on, because you can't clean them unless we get in the chore wheel.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's the whole problem. But anyway, now I know this is kind of a big ask, Jason, but is there any chance that you could spin the chore wheel for us? Like, it would be an honor.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I love chores.
Whoa.
It's one of my favorite things to do. You know what my favorite? Yeah, I love putting away dishes, but I don't like taking them out. They're like, it's like I like the puzzle of like putting dishes in, and obviously like my dishes are like very expensive. Obviously, I mean all of them are from Versailles, but when I take them out, it's like, oh man, I just wish when I tell myself to go do it, I just wish it could be done. And usually they are, because I have house cleaners and stuff. And like, I think the people that live in my TV are also like cleaning up after the house sometimes, because like stuff is like, you know, like there's like an elephant that like made out of a towel like on my bed. And so, like, of course, like that. Good job, Ryan Seacrest. You're so funny.
When you say all your dishes are from Versailles, you're talking about The Queen of Versailles, that documentary about that rich couple in Florida who were building like a 90,000 square foot house and then went bankrupt.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. I got them all very cheap. And
is there another Versailles?
Very expensive. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, so in any case, if you could go ahead and spin that wheel.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh no. Okay. No,
oh,
I did.
Boy. I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah. And the timing is honestly uncanny, because these chores have been years in the making. Every time we do a chore, we have to rebuild the wheel to, for the chores added and taken off. But okay, yeah. So I'll just go ahead and read it. So we are supposed to share what went wrong with your April Fool's prank.
Yeah.
So. Last week we talked a little bit about it, but Cameron and I have our families have. His family is very much into.
My family are prankers, and his family are prankies.
That's one way
and we
to
have
look at
a
it.
long-standing sort of Hatfield versus McCoy's style prank feud, and by feud I mean my family pranks his family, and his family are sort of. Kind of cowards, shivering in the dark.
Oh, okay.
This year was a little different though.
Classic.
Do you want me to share, Cameron?
Yeah, go ahead, Dr. London. You can share what went wrong with your April Fool's Day prank.
And it was so close to working this year. So so my family, they went to Cameron's family. So the plan was. And they don't tell me all of it because they know that I have some ethical restraints, but my understanding was that they had all these drums of gasoline and, all this lighter fluid, and they were going to, have a bonfire in or at Cameron's family's house, something to that effect. So, bonfire sounds fun. And I thought, like, what a healthy way to celebrate this holiday that normally is so mean. And so they went, and they didn't get quite across the street whenever one of them tipped over one of the drums of gasoline, and it's basically so someone else dropped a match. And so the street was on fire. That's what no one was hurt or anything. Thankfully it was fine in that regard. But
no one of importance, yeah.
Yeah, but the entire street was on fire, and that kept up for only a few days, and so we had to make some alternate roads and pathways for that. But
Your street is on fire. Your street is on fire, and it's not caused by Alaskan laser satellites. Your street is on fire.
Wow.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's inspired.
And well, speaking of which, did you try out any pranks over this April Fool's time?
Yeah. Well, as everybody knows, I'm a musician, and I thought it would be kind of funny if I put out a joke album.
Okay, like a Weird Al kind of thing.
Whoa. You did a parody of Weird Al?
Yeah, I did a Weird Al parody of Weird Al.
Yeah.
And his thing is like making them funny. And so what I did, I just made them serious. And here's the thing. I thought it was going to be, I was like, oh man, I thought it was going to be, but I ended up going double platinum, and, people started playing them at their weddings and stuff. Like, like Eat It.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just like, what would be funnier is like, oh, you could beat it, right? And people started dancing to it and stuff.
Some critics of that album said that, like, to some extent you seem to just be doing covers of the original.
But I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. As you guys all know, I'm very young. I'm 16 and 3/4. And I don't even know half of like what their song is. Like, who's Michael? I don't even know who Michael Jackson is,
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I was like, I did get in a little flack for my parody of Amish Paradise, because obviously I don't know the plight of the gangsters, but I was just like, I feel like I could probably write a song about like what it's like living on the streets and like what it's like in the hood as a joke, like that. I'm 16 3/4. Like no one would expect that from me, and people liked it. It was
you did get some pushback on. You took a very wholesome song, White and Nerdy, which is just a fun song about being white and being a little nerd, and then you turned it into sort of a dirty song about right and dirty.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny because obviously I'm 16 3/4 and I don't even have a car, I don't have a driver's license yet. So it was like, oh, I could be riding dirty. Like, what do I know about riding and stuff? So obviously I went triple platinum on those songs.
Wow, you went another platinum since the last time you mentioned it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's selling so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's only April 5th. Like, it's only been 4 days since it's been out, and it's been a phenomenon.
I mean, I've been playing it nonstop. It's on a loop and the whole time the street was burning. It's all we had, just blasting out the windows. It was kind of our theme song.
I love the song Foil, because I'm, a big conspiracy head, and I was like, it was like my anthem for most of 2020. And then I was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if I was like, what wrote it about royals, and and that, of course, I'm one of the most successful teenagers of all time that ever wrote a song about royals, so.
Yeah, that's true.
And every time it just sucks, like when you try to make something and the people are fucking morons and they take it the wrong way, like, it's like, come on guys, I'm an artist. Like, shouldn't even be apologizing for my words. Like, why are you taking the things I say so literally? I'm just a freaking 16 3/4 millionaire with a huge platform.
Yes.
Like, why are you taking it seriously?
Yes.
Right? I tell people things and they do it. And it's like, what are you?
Yes.
The little people that live in my TV? Like, come on. Come on.
And also just like chill out.
And like chill out. Seriously.
You know what I mean? Everyone needs to chill
out.
Yeah. And maybe practice self-care for themselves as well.
Yes, more people need to be going on 6-month-long ecstasy binges. I've been saying that for the last 4 years.
In between,
ecstasy
binges.
Yeah.
And sorry, I don't want to leave Cameron out, but I know, Cameron, you had some pretty big events happen with your April Fools.
Oh, right. Pranks. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it last week when we were talking about what we were going to do, how the main prank I was focusing on was trying to steal my cousin's wife, trying to break up their marriage and then woo her. And so that worked. But then we got married, and it was sort of a prank on me because she's in a lot of debt.
Yeah. It was also a prank on them because the marriage that you broke up. And who has custody now?
Custody of the dog? We just let the dog go. Okay. Remember in Air Bud when he was trying to make them choose? And also Beethoven, I think?
Yeah, I remember that.
I should remember, but you may have to refresh my memory a little bit.
Well, I mean, they let the dog choose who they wanted to go with. And what they don't tell you about that is that if your dog is not trained to not run away, then when you let go of the leash, it's just going to run away.
Right, yeah.
So the dog's gone.
Dogs are famously independent creatures who will just try to survive in the wild if they can.
Yep.
I mean, that they're always like so like hostile to you, and they don't like it when you like tell them to, hey, go fold laundry, you know? They're not very attuned to like what human beings want in their lives. They're always like digging around in sand and like they love pooping in sand and stuff.
They really lack emotional intelligence. Like
Truly,
like I don't think I've ever met a dog that was a true empath.
Yeah, right? I just wish like
I've seen them fake it though.
Oh, right. Like a sociopath. Like most dogs are sociopaths, to be true. You know, like they emulate human behavior because that's what they think we want.
Yeah, they're just they're sort of responding to what they think you want rather than just sort of being who they are.
Exactly. I do have to premise this. I do have a song called, I just sing it. Hey there, scruffy boy. Hey there, little furry man. You are not the next Dexter. You're not Hannibal. Your dogs aren't serial killers. They're just tiny animals. Dogs aren't serial killers. You can have all of these dog bones. On that one, I'm still kind of.
Wow, yeah. That was so good. Well, thank you. I guess that's a Jock podcast exclusive. Well, I guess at this point we'll go ahead and.
I will say with my situation, you know, like we're a happy family right now, but also, you know, on top of the debt, my mother-in-law is staying with us now. So talk about a prank on me.
Yeah.
What a prank.
That sounds tough for you. Yeah.
All of my 7 mother-in-laws are still living with me.
Ooh,
I feel you.
That's tough.
I feel you.
As for my cousin who the prank was on, I haven't heard from him since I did the prank. So not exact. I don't think anyone's heard from him.
Huh, that's weird. So, yeah, I can't overstate this. Thank you so much to Jason Ottier for coming on the podcast. It wasn't even in my sphere of thought to have you on. What an amazing thing.
Of course, yeah. No, I'm glad to be here. I never meant to be here. But honestly, I don't even care that Shelly never showed up. I'm just glad to have met you guys.
Oh, she's still about 10 minutes away, she said.
Oh. How's her tire break?
So I think that it's maybe being dealt with by like a tire fixer guy, she said.
Okay.
So she went and she is watching a movie right now.
Oh, cool.
While they fix that.
In a theater?
Yeah, she just went into a theater and then they were showing Fever Pitch. And so she's catching the second half of Fever Pitch.
Wow. I mean,
okay. That's a
all right. It's the 16th year anniversary of Fever Pitch, and so like, you know, they're doing sort of like they're going around.
I love Jimmy Fallon. He won't have me on his show, but I love him though. He's the best. I think he's so stupid, and I tell him that every time. But he doesn't let me on his show. I think it's so funny.
It's weird that he won't let you on the show when you even made that song that was like Jimmy Fallon is not an abusive alcoholic.
Jimmy Fallon is not an abusive alcoholic. Yes, he does only have 9 fingers. That doesn't mean he likes to use them on his family. Yes, he does only have 9 fingers. He doesn't use them to pour more vodka in his mouth. He is just a guy who hosts the Tonight Show.
Wow.
That's so good. Yeah. Now, Jason, I know that you're so insanely popular that, you plugging anything sounds like a waste. So do you want to maybe plug some, I don't know, indie artists or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Would you like to promote anything?
No. Well, I mean, you can talk to, actually, one of my lawyers, his name's Adam Macias. He's also he's like a funny guy. He like writes music. I don't know. He kind of makes me laugh sometimes. You can follow him at Adam R. Mac on Instagram, and you can subscribe to his YouTube channel. He also has this satire show called Fake News on Fridays. Their TikTok is actually very, very cool. It's striving for another 1,000K followers. If y'all can try to get that is Fake News _comedy on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. So please go check them out if you like just some crazy conspiracy theories. I'm not allowed to talk about them, but he is, and they're very, very fun. But anyways, don't buy Royal from me. That is not. It's already triple platinum.
Okay, so you want to promote someone else and de-promote a little bit of yourself.
Stop buying Royals. Stop buying Royals.
I don't know how your fan base is so rabid. I don't know if they'll say no to something, but we'll see. Thank you to Jason Ottier for being on. Thank you to our producer Cameron. Thank you to Digital in the House.
Mr. Bean, you are not my president.
Nope.
Mr. Bean, you're not my president.
You are not my president. You never were running. You are not even American, but you are American in my heart, 'cause you're so
funny, yeah. You make me laugh all the time. Oh, on the streets, you got your hair cut and a bowl. You're so dang funny with the music going on. I think
you're so
not my president.
Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean is not my president.
Mr. Bean is not my president.
Mr. Bean.
My name is DrLennonSmith.com, and this has been the Jock Podcast.
See ya.
Bye.